Gotcha. Thank you guys for being here. This past month, really happy the way our guys showed back up over the break. Thought they were physical, thought they were ready to go. I thought the whole point of that week was to get us back to game speed. And so did a really good job, just kind of pushing this team to evolve and pushing player development. I thought it was a productive month. Not necessarily every day was good, but, you have a couple bad days, you can learn from those and continue, like I said, to evolve. And, get us back to game speed, and now it's game week. And so I think it's really good for us to play someone else now. I think they were tired of playing each other. And so we'll be off today, and then we'll go 3 innings tomorrow and kind of run through some pregame stuff to mimic game day as much as possible. And then, we'll probably be light again on Wednesday, and then get this thing going Thursday and ready to go on Friday at 1 o'clock. And so with that, I'll take questions.
The makeup of this squad, what does it look like, just the roster overall?
It's a melting pot of a team. It's a good question. It's we're older in a sense, but not a whole lot of Division I experience. Okay, and so that's kind of the question mark in this. But like this past couple of weeks, we had some freshmen flying around the field, which I really liked. And then some veteran returners that I think have just have taken off, and the game is getting slow. Like when they're playing, it looks like the game is really slowed down. They're in control. Guys like Marcus Aranda, Bryce, Blaser, I really like Hess on the mound. Like just some guys that have been here that really care about ULM. It's good. And then you have the addition of some guys out of the portal that have just, when Micah Dean takes the field, it's like, man, that guy's got tools, and so he'll be at shortstop. He's a transfer from Kansas State and played center field there, and we moved him down to shortstop, and he's just been spectacular. Speed, bat speed, has just been playing really well at short. So the makeup overall, it's fine. I think the guys are on board with how we want to play. Just our identity of what we want to do, the things we can control, the presence and tempo on the mound, how we run the bases, how we control our ABs. It's there. It's not perfect yet. We got to keep going. We have to continue getting better.
Your brand of baseball, how will it look perhaps a little different than what we've seen?
Actually, we'll see. Like we talk about just adaptability and winning. Whatever the game's going to ask us to do, might be a 2-1 Friday night game, might be a sloppy game with errors all over the place. Figuring out how to win that one. But our brand. Just, obviously me personally, I want to slug and hit homers and play, really good defense and get to strike one all the time. So it's, we're getting there. I think the guys understand that, but, just what we can bring to the park every single day, I want that to be our identity. I want to be the most excited team on the field, ready to go. And so, this team right here, just kind of watching our offense and what we're doing, like I really like our organization on the base paths and playing smart. I want to play intelligent baseball, and then just what Coach Cox has done with the pitching staff as far as their development is really good. Just an attacking mindset, dominating the first 3 pitches and really controlling the presence and tempo. That's what we need to do early. We have a lot of games early, which some years I wouldn't like. I think for this team, Aaron, it's pretty good to get a bunch of games in early. And let's figure out some roles. And, the 4-game opening weekend, that's an opportunity for, maybe 4 more ABs for some guys or whatever it may be. So, yeah.
In terms of scheduling and your philosophy, especially if it's a new team, do you want to build some confidence early on, but you also want to be challenged? I guess there's that give and take. Kind of what's your philosophy, your mentality with the schedule?
Well, I think there's an art to scheduling, that's for sure. You can put your team in a good position, or you can, put them in a position where you can potentially, spiral and have a tough time catching their confidence. And so what I like about ours is, prior to Sun Belt play, is we have 2 weekends on the road and 2 at home. I really hate exhausting a team with really tough midweeks, travel. If we can line it up with the weekend, however it may be, that's fine. But for us, I thought a lot of games early was good, because we have to establish some roles. Well, that's only going to happen if we're forced into those situations. 4 games opening weekend, and then on the backside of that second weekend is the next 2 weeks, 2 double midweeks in a row. Like you got to fill those innings, right? And so we got to figure out who can. Everyone's going to get an opportunity, and they need to take advantage of that opportunity and go with it. And we'll have some guys emerge, that we really weren't expecting. It happens all the time, and so I think when you're forced in a situation like this, to fill those innings, that's when you find something that maybe you didn't expect to have yet.
First year head coach, jitters, nerves this week. Can you explain what it's like? It's like a kid
Yeah.
before Christmas. How would you describe it?
Listen, I have a really good staff. I'm really thankful for the staff that we were able to put together. They kind of make this thing easy, right? And so I tell the players all the time, like, you guys write the lineup, and so that's starting to take care of itself. Still have a couple battles at some positions, but no, I feel like I'm prepared for this moment. It's not going to be perfect by any means. Like there's like the player, I tell them, we'll make some mistakes and we'll learn, and as we continue learning this team. But for me, I'm ready to go. I have a really good staff, and I trust our clubhouse. So we need to play somebody.
What else have you enjoyed about your first year leading this program?
Here's the thing, like it's one day at a time, right? And I think if you're doing this out of a textbook, you can get kind of, you can lose your personality, or you can miss out on what your team needs. It's just, when I wake up or we're putting the plan together with the staff, it's what does this team need right now, okay? And then we move on from the team aspect, talk about individual players, what are they struggling with right now, okay? How are we going to attack it, all right? And then we check back a few days later and see how that develops. That's player development. That's the biggest thing in this, recruiting and player development. And so, it's not so much. I like to delegate. And I, trust my coaches. And then, it starts at the top. It starts at the top with me and my mindset. But it's a little bit easier when you have really good assistants to help you line out the week.
How special is it having this local talent as well? I mean, there's like high school players, from all across this Monroe area.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I'll tell you this. I think last year there was, relative to the left field line, I think 4 or 5 of the spots were sold, and now there's 12, and all 12 are sold out. And I've been an opponent in this stadium when the left field is rocking and ready to go. And so I think having some local players on our rosters help that for sure. We have some local guys that are flying around the field playing really well. Sutton Lewis being one, the Neville grad, Louisiana Tech transfer, man. Like yesterday, hit a home run, hit a couple triples this week, is taking off. Playing third base. We moved him around the infield, all the positions, and just getting him to, understand the game a little bit better. We got to stay on him. I would much rather tame a Mustang than continue to try to push a guy to get going, and he does not have that problem. We slow him down, and he's been great addition. But some other local guys and their families, they're going to bring a lot of people to the stands, and that's what we want.
You've been a winner at a lot of stops, especially in the state of Louisiana, won a few state titles back in high school. So yeah, how do you look to help continue establishing a winning program here at ULM?
That's a good question. I just don't really, we don't really talk in terms of championships. Whether it's conference or whether it's the postseason. We're so process oriented here, and we catch ourselves if we're thinking about it, right? And so it starts with really good recruiting, okay? And Coach Schatzberger has taken, I think, the recruiting, just the organization of our staff, the names, and being able to, we're laying out the map yesterday of where we're going to be in March. When we're on the road, can we catch some games in Texas at the junior college level? It starts with really good recruiting. I think it starts, right up there with recruiting is your strength and conditioning. We have a really good strength coach right now. He has complete buy-in. I think our bodies look really good, and that's how you stay healthy, right? And so the nutrition aspect to our program I feel like we've brought we have a dietitian on staff that's helped some players. I think it starts right there, and then just if you're attacking every day with player development, where are we lacking? How do we fix it? You have to look at it in a lens of like that, and just being really good of, we have 9 freshmen right now, okay, and they're, in the fall it was fast for them, like most freshmen. The game was really fast for them, and then this past week I don't know if they're ready in terms of playing on opening day or opening weekend, but we're going to look for times to get them into the game. I want those guys to play, okay? And so, those types of players are who you really, you kind of put your lens on and gauge your player development. And we see their growth. And so, I like what we're doing. I don't know if it's the right way. I don't know if it's perfect, but, I do see our progression as in terms of development, moving in the right direction.
You mentioned position battles. Where are they at? And then in terms of confidence-wise, where do you feel the best with this team right now?
We got some, battles going on. Bryce Blaser is going to start left field, but the center field and right field, we got some guys. We just got different types of players. We got some really dynamic players offensively that can be out there. We have some power that we can put out there, and then late in the game, obviously, you want to try to get your best defense out on the field, and so. Guys like Logan Duffy, the transfer from Pitt, left-handed power bat, right? He's been in right field. Garrett Weethorn, a freshman that's really dynamic offensively. That's a guy that you can put out there late to go get track one down the gap, whatever it may be. First base, just trying to see, all kind of the same defensively, but offensively, I think they match up with certain type of arms that we're going to face, and we have to put those guys in the best position to succeed. Matchup wise, or left-handed, right-handed. We got a couple options there. So Jackson Landry's in the mix. Jake Griffith, Dean Hanna is a freshman that's had some time over there. Has a chance to be good offensively for us. And then Marcus Aranda and Zach White, they'll both catch. They've done a tremendous job of pushing each other, taking care of the pitching staff. Haggard has been at third with Sutton Lewis. Both play really good. The thing about Haggard is he has the ability to move over to first base if we need him to. And so I feel really good about Micah Dean at short, and DuPont at second base has just been a veteran, right? And then, Dane Ray is a freshman from Tupelo. That's the guy we moved to short this past week. As Micah Dean had a couple bumps and bruises that were healing. And, man, he looked like a veteran out there, right? And so now you have the element of Micah Dean's ability to play center field, okay? So you have options moving him back out there and Dane Ray at short. And so we'll just have to see what the game presents us of, what we need to make move-wise. And then, these first 7 or 8 games, we'll really learn our team moving forward from that.
It sounds like there'll be no set lineup. This thing is going to be rotating quite a bit, especially the first 4 weekends.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's just we got one more little dress rehearsal, basically a jamboree tomorrow, 3 innings, 3.5 innings. We'll just have to see. No, not set yet. And I think that's a good thing. It could be a bad thing, and sometimes. But right now for us, it's good just because I saw these last 3 inter squads. It was some guys really stepped up, and we're pushing some guys. And so we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. But I want to get these young players in there for sure, and we'll go from there.
You didn't mention the arms. Do you have a Friday starter?
Yeah, well, we'll have so it's a little bit different with we're still trying to figure out what exactly we want to do because you have a 4-game weekend, right? No particular order, but Corley, a left-handed pitcher that's a returner, didn't throw much last year. J.C. Dermody, another left-handed pitcher, he transferred from Wichita State. Really like what he's done as far as being in the starter role. Justin Robinson. He's got really good stuff, right? I think he's learning how to pitch as a starter, and what I really liked these past couple this past one in particular, Dermody and Robinson, not necessarily their best stuff as we've seen, but they found a way to get through the 4 innings of work, right? And so, we were able to score a little bit in 1 inning, and then they go back out there and answer. And that's what we need from our starters is when you don't have your best stuff that day, how do you still get through the 5th or 6th inning, whatever, battle and find a way. And so one more guy, Hess, he'll be in the mix for the rotation. And so and then we have a freshman from across the river, man, Tyler Roark. He is I really like his physicality and durability. He's been swinging it for us as well. And so we'll have to manage him and what we really want to do and put him in a position to be successful. But yeah, that's probably that mix right there that I mentioned, Corley, Dermody, Robinson, Hess, some type of mix right there.
You mentioned being in the opposing dugout of the league before your career. What do you think it's going to be like being on the opposite side and seeing the Little Rock and, on this opening weekend?
Yeah, well, I'm excited. I like our park. I really do. I think there's a sense of charm to it. All the different areas right behind home plate is an incredible setup. in my opinion, down the left field line. You know, they're rowdy. You know, they said some hateful things to me back in 2021 when I was coaching third base for Nichols. But, you know, down the right field line will be a new setup. That'll be for our booster club, our Warhawk 100 members, and our flight crew down there. And so I'm excited. You know, we're looking, you know, we have a really good team. You know, this is something that SJ is really good with as far as, you know, he really cares about the game day experience and fans, and I do as well. And so I'm excited. You know, kids 13 and under now, it's free admission to our games. I think that'll be incredible, especially with the ballpark behind for youth tournaments. You know, they can play and then come catch a afternoon game on Saturday. But I'm excited. I want people here. You know, it's going to be like a true opening day on Friday. We're going to play at 1 o'clock, and 1 o'clock all weekend. So I think that'll be, you know, really good for getting people here to the ballpark, and just, you know, we have to create the atmosphere. From there, once they're here, we got to give them, you know, a really good product to watch.
Closer. You have a closer?
A couple guys, you know. So if Hess isn't in that starting rotation, I really like him on the back end of games. You know, he's just got, you know, different shapes and spin, and kind of keeps you off balance with his time to the plate. You know, I really like Caleb Stramiska, the transfer from McNeese. You know, he'll be 6'7", 6'8" out there, just a tall body out there, and I think his progression and development with Coach Cox has been just really exciting to see. I like him on the back end. You know, so Hess, Stramiska, we have a freshman, Broadnax. You know, I think I really like his heartbeat, Aaron. I think he just bullpens and being on the field. He's an 18-year-old that's not really an 18-year-old, you know, and that's the type of, you know, you want someone that can bring some energy for sure in high leverage situations, but he is so in control. I think that's an asset too that we could see on the back end of games. So, you know, that role will probably define itself. You know, we'll see, hopefully early, but, you know, we'll have some opportunities to see some guys there, you know, with all these games early.
As you get ready to go, Coach, I mean, your first season, pretty new staff. They got a little experience, but the one guy in particular, Coach Schatzberger, has head coaching experience. How valuable has he been for you as you get ready? Yeah,
it's been tremendous. You know, he was, you know, he's just been a part of, you know, prior to him being a head coach, you know, he helped build teams at TCU that went to Omaha, and he won a lot of championships between TCU and the University of Houston. You know, and just it's a really good question, because just little valuable nuggets like, you know, we get going in the fall. And he just said, look, man, this is going to be your toughest fall ever, because you're not just, you know, instilling and installing what you want in between the lines. You're trying to build the personality of your club, right? And, you know, how we're going to operate coming into the building every day, how I want the clubhouse to be, what we're doing, strength and nutrition-wise, just everything, our practice etiquette, you know, and he was right. And it made me a better head coach in a sense that it gave me a little, like, I had to be patient with some stuff. You know, when I'm trying to install some things on offense, there's not one returner on the field with me, okay? And so as we move forward, and hopefully there's not a lot of attrition, we are able to keep these guys. When you're installing stuff with new players, well, when a returner hops up there, 3 guys do it correctly, that new guy that comes in, he just saw it done correctly, right? And then he can hop in there and apply it. And so Shots has been great. He and Coach Lartigue work with the offense, and they are so good. There's 2 different personalities. I think it's really healthy for the hitters, right? And so they make each other better. Their work ethic is just unbelievable. You know, Henry is so smart and talking to the hitters and just kind of, you know, calming them down. You know, I don't want to speak for another program, but, you know, East Carolina, you know, I think they won that championship last year because of Henry's ability to be patient. They had 6 freshmen in the lineup, right? And just now knowing Henry, seeing him every day and how he works, you know, I think he really guided those guys through, you know, probably what was not the standard for an ECU regular season. Those guys peaked right when they needed to, and they won the tournament, and they went in there and eliminated Florida and ended up losing to Coastal. But, you know, I'm just really happy to show up every day with guys like Shots and, you know, we call him Hank, and Coach Cox, and even our strength and conditioning, Ben has just been exceptional, super professional, you know, and our GM, Brandon Belanger, just kind of oversees it all, you know, and is there, you know, and has some input on some really important stuff, and has been really special for us.
Finally, every team in the country is dealing with it, just in terms of the portal and then mixing a whole team together. So team building exercises, how is that going in terms of creating that team chemistry?
I think it's, they're starting to take on a little personality of themselves and what they want to do. It's listen, I like the age we're in. Whatever it is, I like recruiting out of the portal. I feel like our strong suit as a staff moving forward is if you do have to bring in new players year after year, what we've tried to do across the board is simplify our system, simplify our terminology, simplify how we operate. I don't like having a whole bunch of team rules. It's just, these three are going to cover a lot. So let's just be professional in how we're going to do things and represent our university. It's a really good question, Aaron, because we look at, I don't have a pot of NIL money to keep these guys here. My thought process behind it is how can we make these guys love coming to the park every single day? Every single day. How do we make them fall in love with ULM and the community, right? And so when they sit there and Coach, there's no doubt, this is where I want to be. At the end of the year, they can look you in the eye and say, I want to come back. This is incredible. I love the player development. I think we're very transparent with our players on, if they're doing something wrong, these guys just want to be told what they're doing wrong and how do we fix it, okay? And so, I think you got to be smart as a head coach these days. You got to be, you can't have a whole bunch of team rules or you're constantly correcting stuff. You got to let them be some men in some areas. And then, for us, I think it's really attractive in the way our program is ran with, we don't practice a whole long time in between the lines, right? We get out there and we're efficient, and we an hour and a half is a long day for us. And I think the players really appreciate that just because I believe in keeping them fresh. Keep them fresh, keep them hungry, and so in the fall we gave them a couple days off, and I'm sitting at my desk. They just had a lift that morning or whatever it may be, and I stick my head out there, and they're all out there taking BP in the afternoon, probably getting more reps than what they'd have had if we'd have had practice, right? And so it's just kind of this day and age. I like it, but I'm a young head coach. Maybe this is a good era for me to be in.
All right, what's it been like, and how excited do you get this thing underway?
With a new coach and a new staff, it's been awesome. I mean, we got a few returners, but we got a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces that don't really know much about ULM, and so we're trying to teach them the way that we go about, especially me and Blaser, and we're really excited for the first game.
How competitive has it been?
It's been super competitive, especially the returners that have faced each other for 3 or 4 years now. Kind of tired of seeing the same guys over and over, ready to see somebody in a different jersey.
Coach mentioned how you guys are starting the 9 freshmen on this team, and so how exciting is that youth for you guys?
It's really exciting. I mean, we got a really good freshman class. We got a bunch of them that I know are going to make a big impact on the team, and I know just as a fan, that's always cool to see a young guy making an impact on a college baseball team.
Strengths. What do you think are the strengths of the team right now?
It's awesome. This is the tightest knit group that I've ever played for. We got a bunch of guys that hang out together all the time. We got new guys that hang out with old guys. It's really good chemistry that we have, especially with how Pim really pushes that we hang out together off the field. It's been really nice having a coach like that.
All right, describe Coach Pemberton's style.
He's pretty laid back, but he'll get on you. He'll get on you real fast. He's a real player first kind of coach. I really like it a lot. He makes sure that we're taken care of. He's less worried about him and the staff. He's more worried about that we get what we need. It's awesome.
Coach Cox coming in, just how much has he helped change you, get you ready for this year?
Coach Cox has been awesome. Me and him actually just got done working on some stuff in his office right before we came to talk. He's really hands-on. He wants to help you out. As soon as he sees that something's not going your way, he's going to help you slow you down and work on whatever you need to get better at. It's really nice.
You obviously know the history of this program. How important is it for you to see this place full again, and more importantly, bring the winning ways back?
I mean, for me, that's basically the only reason why I came back for another year. I had a sour taste in my mouth the first 5 years that I was here, and I've seen this place be packed. I've seen them win 30, 40 games, and I want nothing more than that after 6 years of being here.
Do they call you the old guy then?
Yeah, they do. They do, I promise.
How exciting has this local talent been for you guys? I mean, it's pretty much littered all throughout this roster.
I mean, I know for fans especially, they want to come to the park and see somebody that they have seen playing high school and stuff like that, having Sterlington, West Monroe, Neville guys. I know it's going to bring a lot more fans to the stadium, and then it's going to just give the people from around here somebody else to cheer for.
Yeah, Coach Penn mentioned he received quite a few boos when he was coached at Nichols here at the Lou, like in the opposing dugout. I mean, how do you think the atmosphere is going to be at the Lou, like now that he's on y'all's dugout?
I hope it's going to be really good. I mean, we have some games where there's a lot of fans, and it really makes a big difference whenever the park's packed out. I mean, it's harder for the other team to focus in a play whenever you got people standing above them screaming at them the whole time. So I hope it's packed out the first weekend.
When Coach took over, what sold you on coming back for one more year?
Just the fact that whenever I told him that I wanted to be loyal to ULM and I didn't want to play anywhere else but here, he was extremely excited about that, and he loved that. He said he wanted guys that wanted just to be here.
All right, what's it been like? How excited are you to get this thing underway?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a really good fall and preseason so far. We've been getting after it every day, and I'm really excited to play different against another team and just get after it this weekend.
The competition, what's it been like in the scrimmages?
It's been good. We have a lot of competition at every position. I mean, we've got a lot of new guys that have come in and really shown that they can play at this level. And it's been awesome just compete every day against dudes that we've faced for 3 years now, but also against new guys.
Yeah, Coach mentioned that there's quite a few freshmen on this team. I mean, is this going to be a benefit to you guys?
Yeah, I think the freshmen are going to come in and compete. I think they can help us right away, this weekend especially. We have 4 games, so they're going to have to play, and they're going to have to throw, and they're going to get ABs, and it's going to be awesome.
How is this team buying into what Coach Penn is doing with this program in his first year?
Yeah, I think everyone's bought in. He goes by this motto of all in, and I think everyone's really embodied that. I think it's all about being focused on what's going on right now, and I think that's what we bought into.
You probably had some opportunities to leave. Why come back?
You know, I do. This place has grown on me. Being here for 3 years now, it's awesome to come back and just see familiar faces, compete with the same dudes, but also have Coach Pem in your corner that really wants to help you grow and make it out here.
This staff, can you describe their style at all?
They're player coaches. They want you to be the best you can be, but they also want you to be healthy. They want you to be happy to come up here every day. They want you to be excited to come up here, and I like that. So you're not really overworked, but you're excited to show up each day.
You said you guys don't have a lot of rules. There's like 3 rules. Is that true? I mean, just in terms of what he expects out of y'all?
Yeah, there's not a lot of rules. I think we kind of handle in the locker room. If something goes wrong, an older dude steps up and says, hey, like, get it right, and we kind of just embody that.
Yeah, Coach Penn mentioned when he was at Nichols, he received quite a few boos from the opposing dugout when he was at Nichols. I mean, what do you think the Lou is going to be like this weekend now that Coach Penn is in y'all's dugout?
Yeah, I hope the Lou's packed this weekend. I hope it's loud. I hope there's fans in left field and all the way down each corner. I hope Coach Pem does not get booed because he's on our side now, but I think it's going to be awesome.
You know, you've stuck around this program, and Coach, the other day when I was talking to him, talked about how much you love this place and how much he wants to win for you and get this to this point where this program's having success again. What in particular about Monroe, about ULM, has you so excited to be here and want to see this place have success?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that the community is just bought in. The community wants to win. Everyone here wants to support us, whether you're out on the town just eating dinner or something. Everyone knows who you are. And it's awesome just to be around people that want to win. Each player in here really does want to win. We want to bring this place back to what it was. I mean, Tubbs and I are just looking at pictures of the place packed in the offices and just like, wow, this would be sick if we could do this year.
You get those new voices too, Coach Lartigue, Coach Schatz talking to you. How much have they helped you make adjustments, get ready to go for one more year here?
Yeah, Coach Lartigue's awesome. He's a quiet dude, but you get him out of his shell. He kind of starts talking. He knows a ton about baseball, a lot of experience playing up to AAA. He's also helped us a lot. Coach Schatz is also big. I mean, he's been around college baseball for forever now. He's big on the approach and the mentality stuff, and so he's been helpful to a lot of new guys and returners.